Richard Gunzik, and he's the one who knows everything about interest rates and what's going to happen with interest rates and interesting things that are going on with real estate. Now, I'm trying to set up guests, so if you want to come on the show with me and you want to sit and be interviewed and you want to talk about real estate in person, I would absolutely love for you to be here and contact me. You can always contact me in the comments section or call me 714-745-6348. And right now what I want to talk about is it's super crazy how so many people are sitting on the fence. Now, I know Rick and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. We're trying to get this show to be every week, but guess what? I work in real estate. I train new agents. I teach classes, and a lot of times, OMG, I am swamped. So today we had a termite inspection and report and clearance, and I'm going to talk about that today too. But first of all, the fence. Why are people sitting on the fence? People are sitting on the fence because they think what's going to happen is prices are going to tank. And like we said last time, they're not going to tank like they tanked last time. Because last time what happened was people got into loans that they couldn't afford. They got into loans that either had balloon payments or had where the payment was a certain amount for a short period of time. And then their payment did what we call payment shock. That's where their interest rate changes and now they can't afford their payment. And when they can't afford their payment, that's when they can't make it and they lose their home in foreclosure, or they can do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. I can't talk right now. A deed in lieu of foreclosure. So a deed in lieu of foreclosure is where you just sign your house on over to the bank because you can't make the payments. So back in those days, people lost their homes for different reasons than people thought they're going to lose homes now. So what I keep getting questions on is, well, I'm waiting for the prices to drop. Let me explain this very clearly. Prices may drop. So they have already dropped approximately 10 to 12%. So homes that were listed around, let's call it $1 million or 980 are now down to 950. So homes that were being, I actually have a client that they're moving right now, and that's why we started a little bit late today, is we have some final things final things to do when you're moving. I personally have some staging to take out of their home. So basically what's happening right now is my sellers are moving. I have staging to take out, and I wanted to be here for you guys so that if you had any questions you could ask me, you can go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can call me or text me. I give you my phone number. It's 714-745-6348. So my clients didn't want to sit on the fence. They knew if they sat on the fence that they would not possibly have a chance to purchase a home for another, who knows, 3, 5, 7, or 10 years. You don't know, because the interest rates are set to go up. Now, with that said, let me explain how this works. People are sitting on the fence waiting for other people to have their housing prices crash and not be able to have their home. That's not going to happen this time. And the reason it's not going to happen this time is because the banks worked with the homeowners. And in the past, they didn't work with the homeowners. And because of COVID, our government asked the banks to work with the homeowners. So let me give you an example. As a landlord, as a person who actually invests in real estate and teaches people to invest in real estate, okay, I called my bank and I said, hey, as soon as Governor Newsom said you don't have to pay rent, the second he said that, my tenants said, we're not paying rent. So if my tenants are not paying rent because the government intervened into my legal transaction, which, by the way, is illegal. It's illegal to enter into someone else's transaction. So, don't know why that worked. But anyway, basically what happened was I talked to my banks and I said, if they're not going to pay me, I can't pay you. And that's what you guys needed to do or should have done. Or if you have a problem with a house payment or you have a problem with a tenant, you can call your bank and talk to them and try to work out a deal. So one of my homes, a great example of this is my property in Irvine. That property, the payment was close to $7,000 a month. And hi, how you doing? I'm so glad you're there. Oh, we have to talk, Mary Bell. I know that you wanted to talk to me, and I am super sorry because I have been so busy, and we will talk. So after I get offline, I'm going to go on. So what I do is I go on YouTube, and then after YouTube, I go for a little while on TikTok. And then if anybody wants to call me or talk to me, you can feel free to call me or talk to me tonight or tomorrow after 5, because tomorrow I'm teaching a class called Transactions. So those of you who are real estate agents or want to learn about transactions, hello, sweetie pie, Arlene, you're so awesome. So we're doing transactions tomorrow, and tomorrow we're working with buyers. So what do you do when a buyer says, I want to buy a house? What do you do? And then on Sunday, we're doing, what do you do with a seller when somebody says, I want to sell my home? So, oh, hello, you guys are all online. It's so awesome. Cool. So anyway, when we do that class, we walk you through every step of the way of what you need to say to somebody when they say, I want to buy a house or I want to sell a house. And there's so much information I can give to you guys. So I'm going to give you whatever I can give to you today. Can't wait for tomorrow. Awesome. So anyway, I'm going to try to record it, and we'll see how that goes. I thought I was going to have a really bad video day today because I forgot to do the rest of my makeup because I was in such a hurry to get here. So anyway, back to what we were talking about, people sitting on the fence. So people sitting on the fence are not moving forward because they think other people, housing prices are going to drop. They're not going to tank. We're not going to have a bunch of foreclosures because the banks did work with us. So like I was saying, they took my house payment from $7,000 to right around $5,000. Okay, that's a big drop. It was about a $2,000 drop. I know, taking my state exam next week. You're taking your state exam next week. Did you check out my vocabulary? You will pass. People who watch my videos pass. My brother actually is helping me man my Facebook. And I got to tell you, I have some people saying it's hard to comment on my Facebook. We're learning, you guys. We're not tech people, we're mortgage people. And on the Facebook thing, somebody commented, they said, I didn't take any cram courses. I just watched all your videos. And I got to ask the people who watch all my videos who pass, I got to ask them, do you watch all the videos, like 300 of them? Or do you watch the ones that are in the playlist? Because the ones in the playlist are specific to what I feel is going to help you pass the state exam. Now, I know you have to be a subscriber. I know you guys that are on there right now are subscribers. But if you're a subscriber and you see the playlist, you go to the one that says California State Exam, and that's the one you want to watch those videos, especially the one that's contracts. And then there's 2 videos on finance. And then there's 2 videos on items of current relevance. You have to know I'm doing those. Cool. The items of current relevance, I'm not sure if they're in the playlist, but those are the 2 that you have to watch because it's me reading the questions that people told us was not on our cram course. And by the way, I had a student pass today that said that avulsion is on the test still. So avulsion is violent action of taking away your land from water or wind or natural causes. So remember that one, okay? So you can do this. You can totally do this. And call me, since you're watching and you're a, I want to say, awesome follower of me. Text me afterwards. Yes. You got a 63? No, you're going to pass. Sharon, vocabulary, guys, you'll pass. Oh, my vocabulary rocks. I just did it. So let me say this. The person who's taking the test, anybody that's online right now that's taking the test that doesn't have my special locked video, text me and tell me, send me the locked video, and I will send them to you, okay? So that's not what this was about today. You guys are throwing me all off, but we're talking real estate together. I don't even need somebody here to interview them, right? But I know that some of you are getting your license, and I will interview you if you want to come down here, or we're going to try to do it to where we can have you on the TV and we can be going back and forth together and interview you. Yes. Wait, you pass. Awesome. Thanks to my playlist. Yes. So where are you doing real estate now? Got to put where you're putting real estate so we can call you and have people in that area use you for real estate. It would be really cool if you join our company too, if you're close by. So you do know we have California real estate experts, and California real estate experts, we walk you every step of the way through your deals if you need help. If you don't need help, then you can go a different route, but you can still come join us if you want. But anyway, back to where we were. So the stuff I want to talk to you about, there's like 3 things I really want to hit on you guys today. You're in Sacramento? That's so awesome. Sacramento's so cool. I'm going to be in Sacramento in May. I'm there every year. So if you join the board, you can ask your board if you can go to Legislation Day and they'll sponsor you. So did you join a broker yet? And did you join a board yet is my questions for you. because obviously there's a board everywhere. I believe there's 26 local area boards that feed into the California Association of Realtors that feeds into the National Association. So that you have to know all that fun stuff when you're joining your agent, your broker, and you're getting in a good office. So back to where we were on the fence. Okay, so most people are not going to lose their homes due to COVID and due to not making their payments during that time. Most of the people started catching up, and we're all doing good because I have 5 rental properties and I worked with my bank on all of them. The funny part was they really didn't work with me much on the house I live in, but that's okay because we're good. Now that you know that the houses, people aren't going to lose them, there's not going to be a bunch of foreclosures. And the reason there's not is because people have equity. So years ago, when people couldn't make their house payments, they didn't have equity and they were upside down. When you owe more money on your home than the home is worth, okay, that's on the test, my friend. It's called a short sale. It's short because you owe 600 grand on your house and your house is only worth 400 grand. So you've got to sell your house for what it's worth, which is 400 grand. And you go to your bank and ask them to eat the other 200 grand. That's a short sale. Okay. So anyway, that's not going to happen this time because people have equity. We have equity because we don't have enough housing in California. With lack of housing, we have lack of supply. With lack of supply, we have a huge demand. And so we need more housing. So the houses are not going to drop way more. They've already, so from the time that the prices went way up because of COVID, now they've come down about 7 to 10%. They're going to come down another probably, I want to say, maybe another 7% for a total of around 20%. So they're not going to drop dramatically. But why people, buyers, and investors are sitting on the fence going, what should I do? What should I do? And they're twiddling their thumbs. The interest rates are going up by the second. Okay. Now, the prediction from one of the people I know was the interest rates were going to go to 10% by the end of the summer. And then I called Rick, who was interviewed. You can watch his interview. It's still on my YouTube channel. He at first told me maybe 6 by the end of the summer. We're not at the end of the summer yet. Maybe 6, maybe 6.5, but not 10, and not 10 by the end of the year. In fact, Rick said we might not see 10 for a few years. But if you look at the other things he talked about was, you know what? We're still better than the average interest rate that we usually have. So jump in there and buy something, because the thing is if you're sitting on the fence and the housing prices go down, but the interest rates go up, your qualifications are going to make it so you have to buy a smaller home than what you thought. Oh, yes, I will, Mary Bell. So she wants my locked videos. So what's going to happen is if you wait too long, you're going to end up buying something that's less desirable than what you could get now, why the interest rates are lower. So that's the thing I really want to point out to you guys is I keep hearing such negative stuff from even people who are in the business of educating people, people who have been in the real estate and loan business for 3 to 5 years, who really haven't been through the meltdown hell that I have been through. I have been through several cycles, and it's usually a 10-year cycle, and it goes up and it goes down and it goes up and it goes down. But the thing is if you place yourself in the right position, you'll always have buyers and you'll always have sellers, because people are always going to buy and sell. And it's not because of the market going up and down and crazy. It's because guess what? There's always going to be divorces. And when there's a divorce and you're living in the same house, one of them's moving. Maybe both of them are moving. Maybe they're going to sell the house and they're both going to buy a house. So that would be 1 sale and 2 purchases. Maybe, so sometimes what happens is I talked to one young lady who said she wanted to specialize in divorces. And I said, well, it's kind of hard and you have to be persistent, because what you have to do is you have to somehow hope that both sides are going to want to work with you as a listing agent. Now, I've gone through that, because I've gone through every cycle you could think of. That's why on one of my TikTok videos, I said, you guys, please listen to people who know what they're talking about, people who've been through the cycles of real estate, not the people who jumped in and made a bunch of money for a day or two. I mean, like a year or two. And then all of a sudden they made a bunch of money for a year or two. So now they're experts. Okay. So those experts probably haven't been through all the stuff that I've been through. Wait, it says there is so much information out there, and my videos are so informative. Thank you very much, my favorite person in the whole wide world, right? Anyway, So, and I want you guys to start coming down because it'll make me force myself to get down here sooner and give you more time, because it is really hard to just like stop working and go, okay, I'm going to go do a video. But I want to make sure that you guys keep learning and keep educating yourself and keep having a positive attitude about how the situations are. So back to the divorce thing. I actually did one where the wife wanted me and the husband wanted somebody else, because if you have two separate attorneys, you have a husband's attorney and a wife's attorney, those attorneys can suggest you as a real estate agent, but then the other side might want to have somebody on their side. So does that make sense? So unfortunately, but true, what's going to happen is sometimes they'll use two listing agents that have to work together on a divorce. So that means instead of making 2.5%, you're going to make 1.25%. Okay, so that's one thing that could happen. And the other thing that could happen is attorneys cannot force you to use a particular real estate agent. So what an attorney can do is say, here are 3 different real estate agents, and you might want to interview each one of them, because I know all 3 of those real estate agents are professional and they know what they're doing. And that way you can get business as a real estate agent. If you're looking about going through a divorce or whatever you're going through, you understand that you have the choices to choose. Okay, so that's one angle. There's always going to be divorces. Okay, the other thing I hate to say, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there will always also be deaths. People die all the time, every day. And when people die, you have to be educated enough to help those people make some decisions. Now, what I'm talking about is people who possibly, oh my gosh, that's such a long thing. And I don't know if I'll be able to read it all. Oh my goodness. Don't think. Okay, wait. So will you text me what you wrote? Because I didn't get to read the whole thing because it was long. And this is the first time I'm trying to do this on my own, where I'm watching what you're saying and I'm trying to read it at the same time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're going to take the real estate test pretty soon. And because you're online, yeah, definitely text me to my cell phone. So I'm going to make sure you guys have that number again. It's 714-745 6348. You're very welcome. I want to help you guys as much as I can, because here's my theory. Oh my God, and I don't want to cry, and there's not that many of you online, but here's my theory. So some of you know about the white candle story. So I'm going like all over the board. So here goes. The white candle story is about, it's about how somebody came to me and told me that I had to believe in God. And I thought he was crazy. I mean, he said that God's been trying to reach you and you're ignoring him. And so that's the white candle story. And the guy tells me, and this was the time of the mortgage meltdown, and he tells me that I have to light a white candle and believe that God will help me. And I'm like, this dude's crazy. And so then my boyfriend at the time told me, he said, well, are you going to do it or not? And I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, is it going to hurt you? And I'm like, no, it's not going to hurt me. He goes, then do it. And I did it, and my life has changed 1,000 times over. So why did I bring that up? I don't know. So anyway, if you need help and you're like wondering what that's all about, just go to the White Candle story and watch it. If you want to see the whole movie, ask me to send you the QR code, and I'll send you the QR code, because I did the whole movie, and I get to go to New York because I have been nominated one of the top films of the Christian Film Festival in New York, Buffalo, New York. So is that not awesome? I think that's really awesome. So anyway, back to everything I was talking about. Oh, the death thing. So we do die, but we do come back sometimes. You can ask me all that. You can ask me all those crazy questions about my life at that point, because things happen for a reason. But what I was going to say, this is something that I do want to touch on. And I know I'm touching on everything I want to touch on, but they're all out of order, so just hang with me on this. So 2 things I want to, so thank you. So they said I'm very cool. I try to be. So I'm trying to share all the information that I have, not just in real estate and loans, but also in the fact that, you guys, we got to treat each other so much better. We have to be so much better than we are. And so I had a student, and I'm not going to name names, and I've had several students. Of course, you guys, I teach, I don't know how many people. I've already helped over 8,000 people that are in my phone that have contacted me and said, you helped me pass the real estate test. 8,000 of them. That's just the people who reached out to me. That's not the people who haven't reached out to me. But what I'm talking about is your attitude and how you treat people. And you really, even when you have a crappy attitude, or even when you don't feel everything's going your way, you really need to step back And if you're around people, don't bite their heads off. It's not their fault that you're going through what you're going through. And one time I was in the classroom at Real Estate Trainers in Anaheim, and this girl, I, I really got to say this. When we take a break, when I'm teaching for 2.5 hours and we take a 10-minute break, and then I teach for 2.5 hours and we take lunch, and we take 2.5 hours and we take a break, and then I have to go for 2.5 hours. I'm going for 8 hours talking the entire time. And I got to tell you, and there was I hate I get tired. In fact, one time I tried to teach the class without taking a break, and literally by the lunchtime break, I thought I was going to be exhausted. So it does take a lot out of you to have all that information, but I want to share the information with you. The reason I wanted to say all that about me teaching and then I'm tired is because I walked past this young lady, and literally on the break, she's running up to me to answer a question of hers. And I think that's totally cool. You're 23. That's how old I was when I started. Oh, you're not going to fail this time. Okay, so you're going to text me and ask me for my hidden videos, and I will get those to you. Okay, so basically, I was walking out the door, and she's running up to me, and I hadn't had any food, and I had been cool. And she said, okay, so we're going to communicate, and I'm going to help you get past the test. So I'm walking out the door, and she's running up to me, and I was hungry. I didn't get breakfast that day, and I was running straight out to try to get coffee and something to eat and do everything I could in 10 minutes and take a break. And she's running up to me, and I'm like, okay, it's my break too. I mean, I was like really mean, and I thought that was really mean. Thank you. She said I'm awesome. I tried. So anyway, my hair's bugging me today. So I yelled at her, and she had no right to be yelled at. It's not her fault I didn't eat breakfast. And so when I came back into the room, I walked up to her and I said, I really, really apologize to you. I really shouldn't have bit your head off like that. I was tired, I was hungry, and I apologize. I hope you accept my apology. And she's like, I don't even know why you're apologizing. And I'm like, because I just bit your head off. So let me say something that's super important, not just in real estate and loans, but in the world of life, okay? And that's why I told you about my movie, The White Candle Story, is because the movie, The White Candle Story, is a short film about having faith, okay? That's what it's about, but it comes from the movie about my life, and we don't tell everybody, I mean, I have the chills now, that's super crazy, that when I had my son, you want to watch it? Okay, so text me on my phone, because I can't keep all those things that go up on the YouTube channel, but I can text you the QR code and you can watch it. So, I don't know really how to say this in a nice way, but I died. And people look at me funny when I say the movie's about when I died. I had my son, and if you don't believe it, basically what I had was a thing called placenta previa. That's where the placenta comes first instead of after the baby's born. And when that happens, they have about 45 seconds to get the baby out without him drowning. You had that too? I will too. I will too. Yeah, you will too. Text me? Cool, text me. And so they have 45 seconds to get him out and save his life. And I'm hemorrhaging, and so I'm bleeding to death. So the movie starts where that happens, and I have an out-of-body experience, and I see what happens, and I see what happens when you die. So let me tell you, when you die, there is a place that you go to. You don't just die and you're dead. So I didn't know what I believed. I was raised Catholic, and I didn't know if I believed in God or not. And I didn't know who to believe, and I'd go to Christian churches, and some of the people really, like, they judge you, and I don't want to be judged, and they think that they're better than you, and I don't think that, and in the Bible it says you're not supposed to judge people, so I thought that that's not cool that they're doing that, and so I didn't know what to believe. So I kind of blew it all off. Aw, and they said amen. Cool. So I didn't know what to believe, so I kind of blew it off. I know I shouldn't have done that. So then after that happened to me, the story about my life is where people who have passed away or who had out-of-body experiences come to me, and they tell me about their experiences. And so after this has happened many, many, many times, the last time it happened, I agree, that sounds like a great attitude. Yes, you have to have a good attitude. So your attitude's everything. So I started having a better attitude about talking about people. And when people would come up to me and start to talk to me, I'd be like, have you ever had an out-of-body experience? I was doing an open house, and I had a guy ask me, so I'm at the open house, and the guy's talking to me, and he's not talking to me about the house. And I'm like, so why are you here? He's like, I was drawn to your open house because I think we both had an out-of-body experience. So all these weird things keep happening to me, and I'm like, that's so weird. So then I had the white candle story happen to me, and that's what changed my whole life and taught me that you guys, we got to be nice to each other. We have to treat each other how we want to be treated. So back to the other story about the other student. I recently was told that the student called the office and was just intensely rude to the office staff. You guys, in my entire life, even before I believed in God, I believe that you have to treat others how you want to be treated. And you kill people with kindness. When you kill people with kindness, they can't be mean to you because they feel stupid being mean to you when you're being nice to them. So with that said, this student called the office and was yelling at the office staff and telling them that they had to let her in, schedule her test. And, they were just being mean. And they said that I said stuff that I didn't say. I would never say that my office staff is my personal assistants. I don't have a personal assistant. I do have somebody who's helping me right now with the property in Moreno Valley, which is Jessica. And she's awesome. She's really getting the house ready to put it up for sale. And we're going to put a sign up there. So we do have a house coming in Moreno Valley that I believe we're listing for $599. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. And it has an amazing view. But the point is treat others how you want to be treated. Even if you're having a bad day, it's not their fault you're having a bad day. And so back to the real estate thing about treating others how you want to be treated. Let me tell you how Courtney's deal went. I don't know if Courtney's on or if she's watching, but Courtney, when, I hate saying, when we talked to the real estate agent who had the listing, I called and I said, hey, well, it was super funny because I told Courtney to call. I want to see your short film. All right, so text me that on my phone, my phone number, and I will send you the QR code. So Courtney's person, you guys, when you work with our company, or if I'm helping you coach, if I'm coaching you, I will be there or I will make phone calls for you. So Courtney and I are showing the home to her clients, which they closed escrow about 3 weeks ago. And he was a veteran. And we're standing in the house. This is our first time out at the fourth house. First time out, fourth house. The clients fall in love with the house. And I said, first of all, please don't fall in love with the house. Because if you fall, and I'm going to put the video about them up on YouTube. I'm trying to edit it and I'm not a good editor, so please hang with me on that. So she falls in love with the house on the first showing. This is the first time Courtney has shown them homes. And I have pictures of her opening the door for them. And they fall in love with the home. I'm like, don't fall in love with the home. They may already have offers. And if they already have offers, we can put an offer in, but we have to figure out what we're going to go in at. And this was right before the prices started coming down. So the house was listed at $849. And at $849, it was a flipped home that was getting a ton of people looking at it. They already had 2 offers in and 1 in her inbox. So I said to Courtney, I said, before we knew that, I said, call up the listing agent, let her know that you're here at the house and that you want to know how many offers they have. So Courtney picks up the phone. She's so adorable. And she calls the agent and she's like, hi, this is Courtney. I'm calling because remember I said I was going to be showing your house today? Well, my clients really love your home. And she goes, Sharon, I forgot what I was going to ask. And she throws her phone at me. It's super funny. And I start laughing and I pick up the phone and I said, hi, this is Sharon Butler. I'm Courtney's broker. I'm here with her looking at the home and our clients really like your home. So I have a question for you. So I was really nice to her, really, really nice. And I was laughing and having a good time. And I said, my clients really love your home. Can I just ask you how many offers you have on it, if you have any offers at all? And she says, and that's when she told us she had 2 offers in and 1 offer in her inbox. And then my next question, because if you're working with a veteran, they did fight for our country and they do help us with Homeland Security, right? So I said to the listing agent, I said, so can I ask you a question? And she says, yeah. And I go, how much do you love our country? And she's like, And I go, you want to work with a veteran, don't you? And she said, yeah. See, she agrees. Maribel agrees that we have to treat everybody awesomely and be nice to everybody and always have a smile on your face. And I said, well, she goes, yeah, we will work with a veteran. I said, awesome. We're going to write an offer. So I know that you had your house listed lower, so we're going to look at the numbers and we'll let you know what we come in at. What we did was originally the house was listed at $849. She had raised the price to $869 when she got 2 more offers. So we sat down and I said, I know you guys love this house and I know you want to make it your home. So what do you think? And they said, how much do you think we should go above asking? And I said, not like a whole bunch, because we want to make sure it appraises. And I already looked up the property and I knew that it would appraise somewhere around maybe 9, maybe 890. So you guys, that's the other thing you have to do when you're showing homes, is make sure it's going to appraise. So we looked that up. We saw that it would appraise for that. And I said 890. And they said, can we go 888? Because 888 is a lucky number. And I said, I know it's lucky. My birthday's 88. And we wrote up the offer and we got the home and they're already living in it. Because I was nice and I killed the real estate agent with kindness. And you have to be fun to work with, because look at, if there's other offers in and you have a bad attitude and I have to work with you and I'm the listing agent and I have 2 other offers that are the same or better, which one am I going to pick? I'm going to pick the agent that called me, took the time to talk to me and see what what's happening with the house. Are there offers? Are there not? How is your seller feeling about, getting maybe an offer that's slightly lower? So one more killing it with kindness. Are you ready? This killing it with kindness is this. So last night, I have another veteran and we're looking to put an offer in units. So that's why you're seeing me put units up on TikTok and YouTube, is I'm looking at units with a veteran. So one of the things that I like to teach veterans is, if you buy units and the units can support the price, okay, so the units don't have to support the price, but if you're a veteran, what you should look at is maybe getting a condo first, a small condo with the VA. Once you have enough equity in that, rent out that condo and buy a duplex. Live in the duplex, rent out the unit in the back, live in the front, rent out the condo. Did you follow me on that? This is called pyramiding. So you get it on your VA loan. Once that VA loan and that property has enough equity to refinance it, you refinance it. If you have some cash there, you might want to take some of that cash out or not and get a conventional loan. Now you have your VA eligibility again. Now that you have your VA eligibility, you can buy a home with a unit in the back, maybe an ADU or maybe a duplex or a triplex. Live in the front house, rent out the ones in the back. This is getting you experience as a landlord. You have to get experience as a landlord before you buy a triplex or a 4-unit, okay? So there's steps that you have to take as you're doing this, but real estate agents and loan officers should learn all this stuff to help their buyers become investors. Because I don't know how many of you know or think about your future, and how are you, when you're 65, 70 years old, do you want to keep working forever so you have money coming in? So there's my little tidbit about buying now, being nice to others, and now I'll go into the conversation I had this morning. So I thought I was going to be working my little butt off this morning, and my neighbor came by. And my neighbor and I used to have coffee all the time, and she's an awesome person. She's thinking about doing her life story. So we started talking about how I did the white candle and how I'm looking for financing for the feature film. And we're talking about it. And she says, well, Sharon, how did you set yourself up for retirement? I mean, being a real estate agent, you don't have a pension. And I said, you know what? As a real estate agent, I knew I wasn't going to have a pension. I knew I didn't have any type of retirement. And as a real estate person, don't you think I should own real estate? I mean, just kind of thinking about that. When you're working with a buyer or a seller, don't you think that they hope that you went through the same thing once or twice or 3 times? So if you're working with an investor, you should be an investor yourself. You should have experience as an investor to help an investor. So if you're an investor out there and you want to work with a real estate agent that has experience of being an investor, that would be me. So at one point I did have 12 properties, and that was before the meltdown. And then at the meltdown, I had renters that didn't want to pay. So that was the time when I went, okay, how many properties do I have to have so that when I turn, I don't know when I'm going to stop working. I'll probably never stop working. But let's say I stop working when I'm 70. How many properties do I need to pay my bills and travel the world? How many properties do I need to, when I pass away, give my son some type of, something to be able to remember that I cared about him and wanted him to have something. So I counted it down, and it's 5. I need 5, okay? So that's how you build a retirement. That's how you build a nest egg. And my neighbor asked me, she's like, how did you build a nest egg? What did you say? Which meltdown? Oh, the one in the 2007, 2008. It was terrible. And so some of you are so young, you didn't even get to see that. And it was horrible. I mean, I went from being a loan officer making an average of $15,000 to $20,000 a month to zero. I went from being a loan officer making good money to going to work at a big bank where they didn't know how to underwrite and they didn't know how to get my deals done. In fact, when they couldn't get my deals done, my brother and I still kept our mortgage company surviving by the skin of our teeth, and I put them through him and he got them done. So that's the other thing you guys have to know is, as a professional real estate agent, when you have your clients go to look for a mortgage, don't have them go somewhere that doesn't have options. And those are usually the big banks, because the big banks, once they turn your client down, guess what happens? Your client has to go somewhere else and start over from the very beginning. And one of the number one reasons that people fall out of purchasing a home is they go to qualify for a loan and they don't qualify, or they go looking for homes that they don't qualify for, and then they go to try to get their loan and they don't qualify. So you've got to get your person to somebody that knows what they're doing and can show them and help them understand how to do their loans. So with our real estate agents at California Real Estate Experts, we're teaching them what to ask their clients. And anybody that I coach, I teach you what to ask your client. After I tell you what to ask your client, then we get on the phone. Like when Courtney and I started working with those people, that their deal went ridiculously smooth. And it was funny because I didn't say it was smooth until after we closed it. It went so smooth because we sat down, we pre-approved them. We got their loan pre-approved. And then we showed them, when they said, what kind of homes can we buy for this amount in these areas? So then we got on Zoom with them and we showed them the type of homes they could get. And then after that, we picked homes to go see. And the first time out at the fourth house was the one that we got that I just spoke about. So you have to be able to do step by step the right way. And there are real estate agents out there that can tell you, well, I don't know anything about loans and I've been doing real estate for a long time and I've been just fine. Well, that's great and that's fine and dandy. But what happens when you sell somebody's home and they thought they were qualified to buy something bigger and better, and now that you sold their home, they can't buy another home? And I've seen that happen. So our real estate agents at California Real Estate Experts and anybody that I teach and train, we talk about what we're going to talk about. Then we call them. So like Courtney and I literally called her clients and I said, is it okay if Courtney listens to me talk to you about your finances? And they said, yeah, absolutely. So she got to listen to what I asked them and the questions I had. And then after that, we actually did their loan application together in person. So she saw, so I go over it, we do it, then we review it. That's how it should be done when you're a brand new agent, so that you can learn. Now, if you go and work at a place where you get your license and they give you a couple of books and a few videos and they expect you to go do something without actually taking you through the steps, then that's probably not the place that you should be to learn and grow. So let's see, takeaways. Be nice to everybody. When you're on the phone with somebody and you're having a bad day and you really don't want to be talking to somebody, then don't talk to them, or put a smile on your face. Because last time I said put a smile on your face earlier today, the one thing about that is this. There's a guy, his name's Daryl Davis. Now, Daryl Davis, the real estate coach on YouTube. He's actually also, he has a program, I think it's called, I don't know what it's called. Honestly, I don't. I joined up once. Sometimes he has specials that are like $47 a month. And the guy's phenomenal. He's super funny. He teaches a lot of stuff. He's one of the people I learned stuff from. One of the things, he's the one that pushed me from just doing loans into learning more about the real estate process. And one of the things he said is you should always do listings, because listings are going to sell. Like I just said to you, divorce, probate. And that's one of the other things is you need to be educated, so you know how to educate your clients about what happens when somebody dies and they're in a trust, or what happens when somebody dies and they don't even have a will. So you need to be educated on that stuff if you want to help those people. And those are the people who are always going to be keeping real estate agents active. So to take it back to that, smile all the time. If you pick up a phone and you're in a bad mood and somebody wants to talk to you about real estate, or if you're going to be a loan officer about doing loans, put a smile on your face. Think of something funny. That's what another coach taught me. Think of something that makes you laugh or makes you feel good, and think of that when you're in a bad mood and you have to be in a good mood. Because people have no idea when I'm teaching. I can't see. I wish I would have found me sooner, right? Aw, that's cool. Well, you found me now. So just, try to be as nice as you can to people, because when you're putting in an offer and you're putting that offer in to an agent that's a listing agent, realize that they have choices to work with you or not, especially if they have more than one offer in. And if you call them on the phone and talk to them and be nice to them, then they're probably going to want to work with you. And it'll give you such a better transaction. Oh, everything goes smooth when you do loans with us, right? You're so awesome. So, but I will tell you, last night, I was about to tell you guys about this, but last night what happened was I called an agent, and I have a client that wants to put an offer in, a veteran. I can't see, license. Oh, you got your license. Awesome. Are you the person in Sacramento, or where are you? So basically what happened is I called this agent, and she has a property list at 1.222222, and it is a triplex. And she's actually priced pretty good. However, I wanted to know how she got her price, because she's the only property that is 3 units in the area. So the appraiser, and I said to her, I'm just trying to figure out, if we put an offer in, if the appraisal will come in, because I don't see any other units in the area where you are selling this. And she said, well, that's the price my seller wants. And I said, okay, does your seller have a real estate license, or how did your seller come up with that number? And she said, well, that's just what they wanted. And I don't care what you think about how I got my price. And she started yelling at me. And I'm like, you don't have to yell at me. I'm just asking, do you have any offers? And if I put an offer in, if I come in at 1.2 instead of 1.22, will your seller get upset, or will your seller counter offer me? I was just kind of feeling around and asking her nice questions. And she starts yelling at me. I'm like, you don't have to yell at me. And she's like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm like, yeah, you're yelling at me. And she's like, well, you know what? I think I'm all of a sudden really busy. And she hung up on me. And I'm like, okay, so I don't think we want to put an offer in on that one. So anyways, treat people the way you want to be treated. When you're in a bad mood, smile and make yourself feel better. You guys stop waiting on the fence, because what's going to happen is the rates are going to go up, and then instead of getting that nice 3 or 4 bedroom with 2 baths, you're going to get a 2 bedroom with 1 bath instead of what you really, really want. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and I will look on my phone for all your texts and answer you and I'll send you those hidden videos about how to pass the test if you text me. Hi, you missed so much. If you miss, oh, you're in Downey. I have a property in Downey. You know where Firestone and Dolan are, over by the high school? I have a Section 8 house, Section 8 condo over there. So if you want to talk to me, call me. I will try to get to you as soon as I can. I will definitely answer your text right away. And if you're here and you're watching me and you are allowed to get my hidden videos, text me that. If you're texting me your emails, text them to me to my phone, because as they go up on YouTube, I can't grab them and write them down, okay? So you guys, I love you so much. I want to make sure that you learn as much as you can about real estate, and you learn from somebody like me who's not going to charge you an arm and a leg, and you learn the business, and you learn as much as you can from me, because I don't want this information in my head to not get out there and help people. So you're there to help people, help them find a home. If you keep your attitude that this is not about money, it's about helping people and paying it forward, because it will come back to you. When you give it out, it will come back. And God bless you all. And if you have questions, like I said, feel free to call me. We'll see you later. And I'm going to try to be here every Friday for you. So feel free to join me, and we'll talk soon. Let's talk real estate next Friday. See you later, guys. Bye.